Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to talk about how to pass your application here in Japan or Bunny English. So first thing, let's take a look at the requirements for applicants. Number one is you should have bachelor's degree. Next, you should also have teaching experience of not less than 3 years, online and offline. Send your CV or detailed resume together with your audio or video introduction of not less than 1 minute to chipan1@yahoo.com, and don't forget that you should not send Google links or else they will decline your application. This video will be divided into 4 steps. The step 1 is about your application, like sending your resume and audio intro. Step 2 will be about demo number 1. Step 3 will be about demo 2 to 3 or more. And step 4, start teaching. Are you ready? Let's begin. So what kind of resume are you going to send? Well, according to Mr. Chipan, you must have detailed information about your skills, educational background, and experience. As I said, don't just highlight them. Give them descriptions. For example, if you work for this particular company, you need to include your job description in this position. Did you teach online, offline? What are your duties and responsibilities? Did you teach kids, adults? What lesson did you teach? Business, travel, IELTS, etc. So Miss Jennifer, Mr. Chipan's daughter, also mentioned that, and I quote, "In your resume, please be specific about your graduation year and each job position year." A few resumes do not have time on them, so I just have to delete them. I just don't understand the logic to hide the time frame. Next, let's talk about the audio intro. You need to send 1 to 2 minutes of video or audio. I prefer audio to video. Why? Because you can retake it as many times as you can until you get satisfied with the result. Besides, there is no evidence in Japan that you get a higher chance of getting hired when you send a video intro. Well, I've sent an audio introduction. Here are the tips to make a compelling audio intro. First, state your name and speak in a very friendly manner, but not too friendly, since you might want to sound professional, right? Tip number 2, educational background. For me, where you graduated isn't essential or not very important here because they don't really judge you based on school you graduated. Just mention your degree, major, or specialization if you have. Tip number 3, if you are not an education graduate, tell when and why you shift into an ESL teaching career. Tip number 4, include what they can expect in your class and state your teaching strategies. Tip number 5, you can also add your hobbies. Tip number 6, in the end, give an assurance that you'll do your best and you'll be expecting to see them in your class. Mr. Chipan also mentioned that any application that sends a link to a file would be deleted without any review. After sending your CV and intro, you'll only have 3 days to wait whether you pass the initial screening or not. And now guys, I'm gonna let you hear the sample of my audio recording. Hi everyone, Teacher Clariz here. How is it going? I hope you're having a fantastic day. Teaching is not just a profession for me, but also a passion. I've been teaching English for 11 years now. Yeah, that's how I love teaching. As a licensed teacher and a TESOL certified, I acquired qualities that can provide you with satisfaction in learning. Teaching ESL students of different ages and backgrounds is my cup of tea, since I love meeting new people. I also love reading, singing, and playing badminton during my spare time. As a teacher, I make sure that you'll get the learning targets in every lesson. I can help you develop your listening, speaking, reading, and writing skills. I know that there are lots of difficulties in learning English, especially as an ESL student. However, I'm always here to guide you. I'll make a class as lively as possible, and I will help you establish your confidence to master the English language. We will enjoy the class to make the learning process flawless. I'll involve you in every part of the lesson and give you the chance to practice English correctly. So, I'm looking forward to seeing you soon. Mr. Chipan said, and I quote again, "For failed applicants, I'm sorry that I cannot offer you any response. The reason is we don't have the manpower to offer you an explanation on why you are not offered a position. So as a rule of thumb, you can move on if you do not hear from us 3 days after sending an application. So that's it for your audio intro. Now let's move on to step number 3, which is a demo class. So let's say you passed the initial screening. Congratulations! One of the handlers will contact you via email or Skype. The handler will ask you for a demo class, and some handlers send the materials at least 1 hour before the class. But in my case, my handler sent me 20 minutes before the demo. I had a demo class with her daughter, who is still my student, by the way. Here, they use different platforms in teaching. It depends on the handler. In my case, I used Zoom, but other applicants use Zumo, the Chinese version of Zoom. They also use Skype, QQ, WeChat, and VooV. So before the demo class, make sure you are familiar with these teaching platforms. Some companies provide the materials and there are suggestions about the lesson flow of the lesson. Well, here in Chipan, it's different because you'll be the one to allocate materials based on the lesson flow. So the first thing you need to know is the usual lesson flow. Since you are an experienced teacher, you must be familiar with the lesson flow such as warm-up, introduction, presentation, practice, application, and feedback. Here's an example of the materials I've used in my demo. So here's the book I used in my demo class. It's Treasures. Let's see here. Yeah, Treasures. So this is the lesson I taught, making friends. First, I asked her what she could see in the picture, and then we talk about the question right here. Yep. She had some grammar mistakes and I corrected her right away. Then, as I mentioned earlier, let's see the next one. I look for some new words for unlocking difficulties. Right here in vocabulary part. First, I asked her to read the vocabulary words and I used them in sentences. Next, we proceeded to read the story, this part. And then I asked her to read the first paragraph to get a chance to correct her mispronounced words. So I asked her to read this part. Guys, in demo classes, make sure that you are attentive to your students' mistakes so that the parents know that you are really helping the students. After the discussion, I ended the class with feedback. And again, don't forget about the feedback. It's one of the most important parts of the lesson. After receiving the materials, I first look for new vocabulary words that the student might be unfamiliar with. Then I prepared it for unlocking difficulties. I divided the lesson into 5 parts. Warm-up, which is the greetings. Next, introduction of the new words. And I used those words in sentences and asked her some questions to check her understanding. After that, I proceed to the presentation. Since it is a book and has no specific part of the lesson, I asked her to read a particular paragraph and also ask her questions for reading comprehension. I also told her that if there are sentences or words that she doesn't understand, don't hesitate to ask me. I made sure that I corrected her with her mispronounced words while reading and grammar mistakes when answering my questions. I guided her to respond in a complete sentence. When she was having difficulty constructing sentences, I gave the sentences patterns that she could use as a guide. After we finished the lesson, I proceeded to the feedback. I use what we call sandwich method, which is praise, correction, praise, or positive, negative, positive. First, I told her what she did great in class, and that's for the praise or positive part. The things that she needs to improve, such as some words to remember and some of her mispronounced words. That was the correction part. Lastly, I added my feedback with encouragement, which is the positive part. After the demo, her mom messaged me that her daughter liked me, and she also told me that I needed another demo class to know if I could also handle other levels of students. So after we agreed on the time, I had a demo the next day. My next student has a higher level of English proficiency. Therefore, the materials we used were a little advanced. With a bit of luck and practice, I passed the demo. Yahoo! I conducted the class with the same lesson flow. The only difference was I didn't have to guide her much because she could answer most of my questions correctly. I've only corrected some of her grammar mistakes. Since she's a little advanced, I also asked her some open-ended questions. Open-ended questions are the questions that begin with how, why, what do you think of? And by the way, I also heard that there are some changes in demo classes. Some even have more than 3 classes. Still depends on your handler though. One more tip, if you are going to use the California Wonders book for your demo, I just want you to know that there are guidebooks for teachers that you can use during class. In my next video, I will teach you how to effectively teach Wonders using the teacher's guide. Suppose you pass your second, third, or 4th demo, then you're good to go. Your handler will ask for your availability and start looking for your students. At first, you might not have a lot of students, but don't worry. You have more once you do your best and your handler recommends you to a lot of students. Good luck. And there you have it. If you have video requests, please let me know. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos. Thank you, and I'll see you in my next video.